So picture this. Your boss leans in and asks, what do you need from me? And you go, nope, I'm all good. We're all set. So congratulations. You just turned down free money. And that I got this little reflex, it's the most expensive sentence that you will say in your career. And most of us, well, we just say it multiple times in a week without blinking. If nobody ever told you that replying to that question with, I got this, comes with an expensive price tag, then today is your day.
So you're telling me, Brian, your boss is standing there with a blank signed check, ready to hand it over and asking how much. And your answer is, nah, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. And the part I learned the hard way is that check doesn't wait around. So pass on it once, and your boss signs it over to the next person who happens to be the next person that asks. Pass it a few times, and now your boss stops writing you checks altogether.
Oh, boy.
So welcome back to Arguing Agile. And if this is your first time, welcome. I'm your host, Product Manager Brian Orlando, and this is my co-host, Enterprise Business Agility Leader, and the Baron of the Blockers himself, Mr. Om Patel. Like and subscribe. That's what we're saying. That's right.
Yes, definitely like and subscribe.
If you're the person who hears, what do you need from me? And instantly says, nah, nothing. I'm good. I know your pain, okay? I did that for years. I still catch myself doing that. It is a personal failing. That's why we're having this podcast. So it took me a long time to understand that it's not humility or strength. It's a habit that I picked up working in places that taught me that asking for anything was dangerous. Okay, so maybe you've had a boss that used your needs against you. Maybe you grew up in the 70s or 80s where figured out was the culture of the day, the mantra of the day. Maybe nobody ever sat you down and helped you unlearn bad habits. Doesn't really matter how you got here. You're here. Right. You're here now, and we're going to argue about it today because that's what we do. Oh. So if nothing is expensive, let's start with why. That's what we're doing. Let me tell you a little question. We're starting with a little
Simon Sinek will be proud of us.
Little Simon Sinek why. Let's start with why your brain defaults to nothing. I'm good. Okay. Somewhere in your career, you internalized a lie that a good employee figures it out alone. That a strong employee asking for help, a strong employee is the same as admitting that you cannot hack it.
That lie is masqueraded as professionalism.
Professionalism, that's what it's called. That's what it's actually called. It's a slow leak in your back tire where you got a nail, but you refuse to fix it. So you just keep losing pressure every other day, and then one day it all catches up to you, and you're stuck on the side of the road. That's what this is. That's what this is. Yeah. So listen, Steelman, right away in this podcast, Steelman, some orgs punish the ask. I've been in those orgs.
I have too. And I think you recognize if you're in one of those orgs. And if you are and you recognize that, it's probably too early for this in the podcast. But hey, guys, keep your resume updated because that's not the right place for you to be.
It's never too early for keep your resume updated. You should keep it updated often.
Often and always,
always and often. But a good one that I want to throw up here is the cynic point of top performers figure it out without bothering it. Top performers figure it out. If you only were a top performer, you would just coast through the water like Michael Phelps. No help needed if you were a top performer.
And if you're in an organization that rewards heroes, you're more likely to want to do this because that's how you get ahead in such places, right? It kind of feeds on itself.
The funny thing about those heroes is you never are exposed to the entire true story. The true story. You're like, just a little loan from my parents, and they just $1 million or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
Even Jeff Bezos, hundreds of thousands of dollars from his I think his dad was a dentist or something like that, and lended him $300,000 to start. And this is in the in the 90s.
Right.
So $300,000 in the 90s was like a bajillion doggy coins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What other good Steelman points do we have that aren't helpful?
Aren't helpful. Even if you do get ahead, you're really not building your true skill sets. So maybe you got a manager that rewards you, right? And then in the same org, maybe along comes another manager who doesn't. Maybe even punishes you for, wanting to go it alone and maybe failing or just wanting to take credit. Perceived credit from
perceived
others.
credit. Right.
That's never a good thing, right? You say you're a team player, and yet your behavior shows something different. So yeah, when you have these managers, you watch out.
The practitioner rings true for me is well, Brian, you're just salty. That was just one boss. That's not a statistical representation of all corporate America and all workplaces. That was just one place and one time, which wasn't one place and one time, because I'm like, well, what about this? What about this?
Yeah,
what about this?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, but that was just one place there. That was just one place there.
It's always ever one place at one time, one place at a time.
That's so.
Because you never learn from that, and you think, oh, it's better on the other side. Go someplace else. They're known for their culture, so it can't be the same, right? It's going to be different. And then before you know it, you get slapped around the face again.
That field is, that's the only place I want to be. That field is called statistics, and we just throw out all the outliers until we get the numbers we want. That's what I learned.
Exactly.
I'm a data scientist now. I do math.
Awesome.
We don't talk about data scientists going away.
Right.
Nobody's on the internet talking about that.
It's true.
Anyway, thanks for coming to this tangent. Figured out alone is ridiculous. We know that. That's how good people drown quietly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a precise ask actually signals ownership, because the flip side of that, if we can talk about, I don't know if there's another place where we talk about this, but
right now,
if you don't ask, then the perception is from your leadership or management is you're aligned with them.
Well, or you don't communicate well.
Or you don't communicate well. Yeah, exactly. Or if it's a repeat message from you, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. It's like in between those messages, they see that you're flailing,
right?
And yet you keep saying you're good. That's got to count against you. Your reviews or whatever else, right?
Yeah. Flailing in silence. That could easily be perceived as a failure. I mean, it would be a failure.
Right.
Yeah. I could be in line with that one. And then the bad bosses that punish, quote, neediness.
God.
That one's, I mean, but like if they're tracking data and you're not, and you're the one asking, it's going to be used against you. Like the data is going to be used against you. So like the other way, you should be tracking it before they track it. That comes off as clunky, but I don't have a better suggestion than that. If you got someone using data, weaponizing against you, and you work for them, come on.
The only thing I can say is a few seconds ago we said what the remedy was, right?
Yeah.
Keep your resume updated.
Keep that resume updated. All right, so there are some takeaways here. The takeaway starts with stop hiding your blockers to look competent and start naming them to look in control. Oh boy, if I had a nickel for every time that I worked with someone that was hiding the blockers or doing the song and dance around, like when we had the big meeting, doing the song and dance around the blockers, like, oh, well, we didn't quite deliver this, but, we learned a lot, we did whatever, and it's like, yeah, but you still got the blockers.
The worst of those variations is when someone, if it's a program or something, they'll just say, we did our part. The problem is we didn't get what we wanted from this other.
Right.
Listen, customers don't want to hear about that. They don't care how many teams you have or what handoffs you have. It'd be far better to own it and say, leave this with us. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a perceived message that you're owning it, at least for the time being, even if it's temporary. So definitely. What blocker am I hiding right now? Great question to introspect for yourself.
Dude, I can't tell you. I think about earlier in my career, I was a team lead. So you got delegated some management responsibilities from the manager that you would take and you would run with, right? And one of them was the hiring. Like I did all the hiring for the team, but the more important one was cross team coordination, because that stuff was it was a whole job in and of itself. Cross team coordination.
Sure.
That was exactly what you just said. Is I would have to own a problem and go walk from desk to desk to desk to make sure it got resolved and nobody dropped it and it didn't stall out. And I had to truly own the problem.
That wasn't necessarily all yours.
Right. No, and I would say very little of it was mine.
So from a customer perspective, that builds trust between them and you, right? That's the oil, I guess. The trust is the oil that, lubes the machine.
Yeah. So I have two things here, which is what blocker am I hiding right now? And does my boss actually punish asks? Those are the things that those are the introspective kind of questions to come out of this section. So in your next one-on-one, you can ask, so what's something that you the boss, this is you, the employee talking about, what's something that you wish that I had come to you with sooner? You also had another one from the boss's perspective that we talked about earlier that would have fit in here too. So from section 1, my real takeaway is to remember that a sharp ask is a flex. It's not a confession.
Yeah, and the one that I was thinking about from the boss's point of view is train yourself, you the employee, train yourself to, when they ask you, what do you need? Train yourself to hear what would help me to perform at a higher level.
Yeah.
So you hear that from as if it's coming from them, like what would help you perform at a higher level, and that reframe is quite powerful because at that point you're not going to say, "Oh yeah, I'm good," because you're going to think about things that you really can use help with.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shift changes everything, in my opinion.
Okay, so let us know in the comments what is something that you've struggled through alone, just so you wouldn't have to ask for help. Group therapy session time in the comments. That's what I'm saying. So for each one you name, I'll name one too. This well goes deep. So let's say that you've made peace with asking. You've listened to what we said, you've taken it to heart, and everything is great now. Okay. So there's a worse trap that is waiting that we're going to talk about. So the boss asks, you're finally willing to talk, and then your brain says, nothing.
Got nothing.
I got nothing. That's right. That's right. I got nothing. That's what this slide should have been called. I got nothing, by the way. So you've gotten over the shame around asking for things from your boss. Now the mechanics. Here's a rule: never answer nothing when someone with budget or authority or connections asks, "What do you need from me?" Remember, like, I'm good. That's not humble. Like, it's a wrong answer. It's totally leaving a tool on the table that was handed to you. Handle first, business edge first.
This is like leaving a second blank check on the table.
That's right. So in the Marty Kagan Transform book, because we did a whole podcast on that with Ed, Arguing Agile 172 review of Transformed by Marty Kagan from July 10th, 2024. Wow, almost 2 years ago. Huh? It's nice. So when we did that one, I believe in the book, Marty Kagan says, well, the job of the modern manager is basically just coaching the employees and making sure that they continually develop and, basically hiring too. So like, that's a pretty straightforward job description. Coach and take care of your people.
Yeah, and it sort of aligns with one of the Agile principles too, right? Hire motivated individuals and get out of their way. I'm paraphrasing, but effectively that.
Right.
And the other source is L. David Marquez says, fix the environment where your people can excel and then get out of the way. Right? Trust them to do the job.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a far cry from the cynical Steelman point here, which says, listen, I hired smart people. Don't bother me.
Go figure it out. Yes.
Yeah. And like all this like one-on-ones, the Jensen Wangs of the world right here in this category. All these one-on-ones, this manufactured need. Like, it's just like, we're too smart for that.
In Jensen's case, it's 1 on 60, isn't it?
It's 1 on 60. That's right. Which is that's a movie I don't want to see.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Listen, the boss wants something when they ask you, what do you need? Right? So try and align yourself with, why is it that you're being asked that? What is it that they could possibly, be coming to the table with? But then immediately swivel to, do I have everything I need to succeed? What do I need, regardless of where it's coming from? It doesn't have to come from the boss. It could be something that you need from somebody else within or, outside of the org. But mention it to your boss and you'd be surprised. Good bosses will say, go talk to so-and-so.
Yeah.
Right? Suddenly you have a direction at least you can chase down.
You're jumping ahead on the podcast.
A little bit.
That was one of the things. It's like, the intro to other people that you otherwise would be basically cold calling.
You wouldn't, or also not even know who to reach out to if your org is large.
Or if you're new.
Or if you're new. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great one. It's like the cynic is like doing nobody any favors. Like the cynic is like, this is almost like a burnt out manager at this point, or somebody that doesn't want you to succeed. Would be the arguing point of the cynic. That the one that I want to call out would be the practitioner in this case. It says like, sometimes we're in our flow state. We don't need anything. Get out of my way. Get out of my way, bro.
Yeah.
The worst one would be the academic, because they're just like playing mind games over here, being like, the reciprocity is like, you can demand too much and overwhelm, and you're over asking, so you're being seen as needy or high maintenance. And I'm curious what your take on that one, because I feel the person that says that, number one, is they're looking at it in like a sanitized viewpoint, like an outside viewpoint, whereas like, if we have a relationship, the relationship you should know when you're demanding too much in the relationship. That's just like a relationship thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So the academic in this viewpoint, if you have managers that fall into this category, you'll know this because these are the people that will ping you on the side. Let's say you have standing one-on-ones every so often, right? They'll ping you on the side and say, I got nothing this time.
Yeah.
So the framing, I got nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll cancel our one-on-one,
Right,
right? If you see that, and again, if you see it repeatedly, it tells you something, right? Because they're not caring about what you want. They're just saying, well, I need my time back.
We did a whole episode on one-on-ones. Like now Arguing Agile 215, why one-on-ones still matter and why you should have them. It was from June 4th, 2025. Oh, look at that.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June 4th. I don't know if we talked about, we did talk about Jensen Huang in that one. I wonder who else we talked about that one. Anyway, whether you're a product manager, team lead, individual contributor, or whether you own a snappy leather jacket or not, owning your one-on-one agenda is crucial for career development. That's the story you just said is like your manager's, I got nothing for today. Let's cancel it.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not really their meeting. It's really your meeting to bring the agenda. And if you really have nothing, now you're in this category I just pointed out is like, don't do that. Don't be like, I got nothing. What do you need from me this week? Nothing.
I know we're going to get to some practical tips a little bit later, but you should never have a blank piece of paper or whatever, blank mind for your one-on-ones.
I got a whole category. So the busy practitioner, we already talked about that one. Sometimes I don't need anything. We'll talk about that later. Let's keep that in mind for later.
Sure.
So let's go on to like, I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah, I got nothing. Like almost never 100% true. Like I've been in tons of workplaces and me on a regular basis, especially when I'm like trying to jam out some development stuff. I don't want to come out of my zone right now. That's what that means. That means I don't want to think. I'm too busy right now. Leave me alone. Like, let me if I could push the meeting off for a couple hours or something like that and come back to you on my time. But the scheduled time on this calendar, I'm good. So again, let's put a pin in that one because I want to come back to that one later in the podcast. Okay. If you don't have the relationship with your manager where you can be like, hey, I'm in the zone right now. Let me know when you want to log off for the day. Let me get the last 10 minutes of your day. We'll come back to that. I got a whole category in this podcast just for that one. But the other ones that are here, the perspective, the manager's scoreboard in your organization is your entire team's output or their department or however you're right. You saying, hey, I'm good. I don't need any help with anything is keeping their scorecard down. Basically, because
you're dragging the team down
because they don't do anything by themselves.
Words.
Right? Yeah,
they don't exactly.
And I could tell you from being a manager, I had 8 people in my department that I hired for and I managed. There was individual metrics because that workplace was crap, but there's no individual metrics on me. They're all my team's metrics, so they're all like separated by a layer or two. Like I can roll in and impact 1 or 2. If I want to, but I can't personally be present and help like push buttons and stuff
the work for
every right. That's another podcast that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I can't. It's probably one that we should have a guest because my experiences are so old now because I had my product management career came after that.
Right.
So like I probably wouldn't be able to remember great specific examples. It'd be better to find somebody who's more current.
Sure.
With that experience. But I do remember that it's like I went from I can touch everything and have a direct impact on everything to now I have influence as impact on everything. And, I can unblock, but if everyone's super busy and has no time to tell me where I can be effective, now I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So if we're going to have takeaways in this section, stop. I don't know why I'm doing the William Shatner. Stop treating what do you need as a pleasantry and start treating it as an open checkbook. Going back to the opening of this podcast, which is you never answer nothing and you name one real need. And if you can't name a real need, this is what I was going to say. If you can't name a real need because you're too busy or whatever, you promise by the end of the day, I'll deliver to you a need or something. Let me get back to you. Give me a couple hours. Delay, rather than saying, no, I'll get you next time.
Yeah. This is more likely to happen, if you're caught unawares, because if you have a regular one-on-one, whatever, format it is, right? You have time until the next one. So as and when you think of things, just keep a notepad handy somewhere, whether it's on your machine or an actual notepad, whatever it is. I personally just use sticky notes and I write down things that I want to talk about with my boss.
Yeah.
And I stick those on the side of my monitor. So when I'm speaking to them, they're there as pointers.
There you go. You don't even know it, but you're already advancing us in the agenda. So the main thing to remember in this section is never let nothing be your final answer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the main thing.
Right.
Forget all these takeaways, forget everything we talked about, but just remember that one. When your boss asks you nothing or I'm good, never the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us know in the comments, when's the last time that your boss asked you what you needed and you blanked? What and also if you can remember, like what should you have asked for?
Right. And in
Would be
between, how did that work out for you?
That's right.
Also,
That's right.
If you don't mind sharing
That's right.
that.
Now, the second that you start asking for things on purpose in a corporate environment, someone's going to call it manipulation. That person might even be me, Om. I put that one because I know we did a whole podcast where I was manipulated communication or whatever. So if our advice is always have an ask, let's deal with the guilt that some people might feel about that. Okay. There's a 250-year-old move where you ask someone for a small favor and they end up liking you more for it. It has a name. It's called the Benjamin Franklin effect. Okay. People hear that. They hear in their head that it's like a manipulation tactic. I'm pretty sure that this was mentioned in the Robert Cialdini influence book as one of the influence tactics. So people hear that and they might recoil because they might think it's manipulative. Okay. And again, in Arguing Agile 235, October 28, 2025, changing your message, adaptive versus manipulative communication. We talked about this topic. So where am I at? So people will hear about the Benjamin Franklin effect and think when you make small requests of people, then there's like a psychological thing that goes along where like they want to please you and they regard you in higher esteem because of that exchange, because you're asking for things. And that's a real documented thing. I'm not going to go off like showing citations and all that kind of stuff. Everyone can go read about it themselves.
Sure. Yep.
But it's the oldest, most honest relationship glue that we have. And refusing to use it does not signal that you are principled. Okay. It just leaves you isolated.
Right.
Refusing to utilize it.
Yeah.
So this is the Franklin autobiography, 1791, where a rival lends him a rare book, and a lasting friendship follows. There's a quote from that book: "He that has once done you a kindness will be more ready to do another than he whom yourself have obliged."
You yourself, yeah.
You
that makes a
yourself
lot of
oblige,
sense. Yeah. Right.
It would make more sense if I could quote it properly. There's also a Jecker and Landy 1969 human relations study that favor raises liking. Now, this was in a clinical environment, I believe, to increase his liking for the recipient of the favor, where they tested this in a lab. But again, this is a well-worn effect that you can read about.
You see this, quite often, like even in kindergarten, right? Kids that share their lunch with somebody else or give someone a candy. Right. This is a known thing. It's a human trait or behavior. Not trait, behavior.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also the other one that's like a darker pattern where like rewards that are infrequent and unpredictable in frequency, like hacks the human psyche to get people to do things over and over again.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of little like the Robert Cialdini influence book is pretty good because it talks about all these little patterns. And that book will give you all the citations and all the studies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But like be prepared because like even the audiobook is like 12 hours. Like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But like again, we're not trying to. This is not this is the episode for like familiarity with these things. It's not the episode where we normally do, or we're going into citations and kind of picking them apart.
Yeah.
The Steelman, and yes, there's a Steelman here, believe it or not. The cynic here is going to say, "Oh, you're going to try to get them invested so you can work them over later." That's what I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
Giggity.
Oh goodness gracious!
I mean, that is the most cynical take, isn't it? Like
it really is. It's like you have no trust.
You want something,
yeah.
Like, how dare you have actual human empathetic relationships?
Yeah,
dude, chill out, man.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Well, look, at least give it a good old college try. Don't just write people off from the beginning saying, "Yeah, they're just trying to use me." You don't know that. It's a cynical take, but I think it's also one that's pretty prevalent out there.
What about the practitioner of it feels gross to ask? Like a quid pro quo feels gross.
Yeah, I think that one I'm a little bit more kind of tolerant to, because if it feels gross, what you have to do is just simply roll up your sleeves and say, yeah, I'm going to deal with this anyway, and I'm not expecting anything. There is no quid pro quo for me personally, but if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, let me tell you about moving out from working for tech teams and working in product. And also when I started working real close to sales for the first time in my career, and I really started understanding sales is just product management, but without the technical work.
and with a bigger commission.
Oh boy. And with money for doing it. Anyway,
Right.
That was so weird. I had to get over myself in my career with this, because cold calling people that you don't know or whatever, sending them messages or emails or, approaching them at conferences, or finding out when people are going to be places and then going with your product or with your team or whatever, like that also could feel whatever gross or slimy or whatever you want to say, but like, listen, that's how relationships get built. That's how sales get made.
110%. Yeah. So I agree with that.
That's hard for tech folks. It
is hard because they like to think that, they have everything it takes to things happen, right? But we always need that. Yeah. So if you position yourself in a place where other people are likely to be, that you want something from, that can feel icky like this, right? But at the end of the day, without that, you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah. So just, suck it up. Go there, do it. And don't come across as, well, that person didn't help me, so I won't help them. That doesn't wear well at all.
Yeah. Listen, I like salt, so I like this. Back up that dump truck of salt and just dump it on me. All right. Listen, when someone says, "Oh, you're just playing psychological tricks," like at that point, they decided that there's no way the relationship can be genuine. It must be fake. Yeah. It must be fake. Like, what relationship is genuine then at that point?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch of an argument from my perspective. I will say. But also, again, from someone who came from tech teams, who jumped over to travel and work with sales in the sales process in product. Yeah, you can look at it that way. Well, these relationships are not genuine. Or you can be like, these people have a problem and all the rest of the products suck. And our product is good. Even if our product's not good now, we get a great team and we can improve it to make it the best product, or the world-class product, or the market leader or whatever. And it's a perspective that you're locked into, that for some, like, why are you even locked into that perspective? How did we get here is what I'm saying. Where's Mike Miller? How did we get here? I know my Mike Miller and my Bill Cosby are very close together. They're dangerously close together, I do have to say. Do you have some Jello? Sorry. Like, if the need is real, you're not working anyone. That's if I'm going to dismiss this whole category, is the need for real? Did you really need something?
Yeah.
It's not fake then.
Right. So stand behind that. Right? Get rid of all these other thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Takeaway, stop being guarded for reasons or whatever.
Perceived.
And start letting people invest in you with real small asks. Go, like, that's the takeaway in this category. Go try it. That's what I'm asking here. Go try it. Think of something that somebody can help you with, even if it's tiny or trivial. And then go ask them. Practice that. Because especially if you're a QA analyst or a QA engineer or somebody like real low level on a software development team, and you want to like go over to like customer support or sales or something and go ask them for, hey, can I sit on your next call? Hey, can I, ride over your shoulder while you're doing a support call or something like that.
Yeah, at least they feel appreciated, that somebody cares about what they do. Yeah. And the flip side of it is, you'll be amazed at what you learn, right? In that example of testers or whoever it is, sitting in and listening to support calls, right? Yeah. You realize what the customers are actually feeling, they're going through and experiencing. So yeah.
A quick review. The other thing, you could like go sit in a salesperson's cube with our laptop, go pull up the environment, say, here's what we're thinking of. What do you think about it? And like, we're not necessarily going to change the software based on how that one person thinks about it.
Just getting feedback.
But we've asked them, hey, can I have 5 minutes to just demo this super quick thing? 5 minutes. What I'm saying is the ask for that 5 minutes, not even necessarily the demo. You're now working out that muscle that otherwise people in tech teams with like bosses that aren't, overwhelmed, not looking out for, sponsorship opportunities, that kind of stuff. You're exercising that muscle now that otherwise you should be doing,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
So the real need is an invitation. Change your frame of reference where you're not perceiving it as manipulation. It is just an invitation to do something. That's it.
If you recognize the real need, then ask for help or ask for, even if you just want to chat with somebody about it, right? That is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it's a sign that you're taking ownership.
Yeah.
Just remember, high performers, they don't need less. They need better inputs. The best employees are not independent. They're well supported.
Sorry, anytime anyone says less, I hear 28 teams and one product manager.
Oh,
It's like it blows my mind anytime I hear less. Sorry, that's not cool. So that's not even a transition. So let us know in the comments, what's a small favor that someone may have asked you for that actually made you like them more? If you can think of one, let us know, because I bet that you felt this from the other side and you've never actually named it until you've heard our examples in this category.
Yep.
All right. So we understand that asking is fair game, but there is a fork in the road. So do you ask what helps with the work, or do you ask what helps you? Because those are not the same thing.
Okay? Absolutely.
So by the time most people finally do ask, they ask for the low-hanging fruit.
Ooh.
I thought you would appreciate putting
low-hanging fruit.
Slipping low-hanging fruit. No, yeah, a little hanging fruit.
How low is it hanging?
Sorry, that was a. She hasn't been here in 1,000 podcasts. That was my Jessica, like, low-hanging fruit. If anyone could talk into the microphone through her teeth, that was that low-hanging fruit. So by the time most people finally do ask, they ask for the low-hanging fruit, the unblock this, make this decision, let people know about whatever, right? That's fine, right? No problem, all right?
Sure.
The asks that actually move your career are the ones that fly at the boss's altitude, okay? An intro here, a sponsorship opportunity there, an invite into a room that otherwise you wouldn't get into, a shot at the thing that is above your pay grade, what with the safety net of your boss or your team or whatever, backing you, those kind of things. You're not just asking to get unblocked. Now that you know how to ask and you're comfortable with this tool, now let's use it to kick you ahead.
Yeah. Not just the work. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
There is a concept of sponsorship versus mentorship. And I've talked about this for a long time on the podcast. I've never specifically named it as a citation. I didn't look at the Sylvia Ann Hewlett. I don't know about this as a citation, but when I queried, this is the name that came up. So I'm going to go look around. Anyway, it's not important about this individual person, but it is important that you understand the difference between sponsorship and mentorship. Like, mentorship is great. You've got someone who's like kind of taking you under the wing and who, kind of helps you and gives you advice, sage advice.
Based on their experience, perhaps, right? Yeah, so mentors do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Sponsorship is quite different, because sponsorship is they actively are looking for opportunities for you to slide into.
Yeah, sponsors actually spend, right? Their, mental capital or whatever to help you. They genuinely want to help you, as opposed to, well, here's what's worked for me in the past, which is what a mentor might do, right? They might even stress and say, you should try it. It might work for you.
Right.
But sponsors, on the other hand, they're the ones that push you ahead, right? So we're already past just what's helping your work to what is helping you.
So the reason I wanted to highlight that was to point out in this category of your boss is coming to you and asking, hey, what do you need? What can I help you with? And most people will just think about the work or unblocking or that kind of stuff. But now I would just want to I want to plant the seed of what are they doing to sponsor opportunities for you in your career to get you ahead? Because you may not have a manager that is like that. You may not have a manager that is capable of doing that. You may work for someone that no one likes. I've been there too. And understanding that you're working for someone that can't get you ahead is valuable information.
Yeah, so you stop wasting your time there and try elsewhere. Right. That's the bee buzzes over to a flower, sniffs at it, ain't nothing there, move on to the next flower.
That's right. This is a good category But
Very
for
good.
for every good category, there's a Steelman.
There's always Steelman.
So the cynic says, always be closing for me.
That might sound selfish and self-centered a little bit, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to come to you and say, let me do this for you.
Yeah.
So you got to do it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it would sound selfish if the that promise of like get your degree, work for a company and retire there and whatever, and that hadn't totally collapsed like decades ago.
Right.
Then I would have a different take on this.
Sure.
But that's gone.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's gone.
Nobody's sending out gold watches.
The academic on this one say, well, where you can find sponsorship, which may not be in your direct manager, that drives your advancement, not the mentorship. Like mentorship might drive skill and it might drive other things, but like it won't drive advancement, or at least maybe at the pace that sponsorship will drive advancement. I would say that one I'm kind of like a little bit on the fence.
On that one, I feel like it. So I want to make sure this isn't something we're saying is A or B.
It's not.
It's
no.
both.
It's both.
Right.
Yeah.
So the mentorship helps you in the here and now. Sponsorship helps you here on outwards, right? Forwards in the future. So you need both.
And then the last one here, the practitioner would say, hey, grabbing the credit, always looking to grab the credit, that just poisons the team. Which listen, that's a good Steelman.
It's a good Steelman, yes. Hey, you know people who do this, by the way. You'll recognize that when they say, I led the team to do this.
That's right.
Right? They never have the team as their leading sort of, sentence. They'll be I always, right? It's me. So these people are taking the credit. Does it poison the team? Well, it doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
On the contrary, if you're in a team like that, when someone's doing that all the time, how do you feel? Let us know in the comments. Seriously, I want to know, what do you do about that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like advocacy. It's not credit grabbing. It's visibility. So it's not theft. It's visibility.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for a lot of people to grasp, is that you're just elevating. Because, like, again, if you come up on dev teams, no one ever talks about elevating your visibility. Like you do everything as a team. And when you do everything as a team, like a lot of dev teams, like they have one or two people that get used to presenting everything, and they become the visible people. Or maybe the team lead grabs and presents because they're the people person on the team. And this is a tough one. The better teams do some kind of rotation where the person that was like the primary developer on the feature or whatever presents it during the demo. And they basically take turns, and the lead has kind of an eye on, like, if anyone's trying to, if anyone's always like the secondary, or if anyone's taking the back seat or whatever, then they'll kind of push that person to the front or whatever. But teams usually, the good teams usually take care of this. The bad teams, yeah, I understand. The bad teams, yes, they're the ones where, like, well, the lead's presenting everything, and there basically are no developers on the team as far as management is concerned.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. Advocacy.
So the work asks here, they're the baseline. That's the way I want you to think about this. Just make sure that the asks are still happening. Those are work related. And then the advocacy ones, the sponsorship ones.
Over and beyond.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. That's this category. So if there's a takeaway here, which, I mean, we just gave you enough, but if there's more, stop spending every ask on the work directly. Start spending some on your own career trajectory. And remember that you want to lead with the unblock, but then you want to go above and beyond, kind of what we just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ask for intros, ask for sponsorship, ask for things that are career related, not just focusing on the work.
Right.
Okay, so let us know in the comments, when was the last time that you did the work and nobody upstairs heard about it because you didn't ask your boss to carry it up? What was that work? What happened after the fact? So, let us know. So now, all of this assumes that you can actually think of an ask in the moment, and we already know that your brain goes blank. Let's fix that situation. So here's the nuts and bolts fix. The reason that your mind goes blank when the boss asks what you need is that you have no needs. Everything's cool, That's
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit earlier in the podcast too. The reason is you can't think of it in the moment.
In this situation, you can't think of it in a moment. there is something that you can rely on if you've been working on agile teams all these years, which is you have a backlog of impediments that need to be removed. You have a backlog of work that needs to be done. The organizational blockers and the things that are holding your team back, and then slowly working through and improving your team. Because if you're not doing that,
What are you doing?
I mean, yeah, what are you doing with your life? That core, I'm going to write down my impediments and then slowly churn through them. That's what you're going to use here.
Yeah. And if you're leading with the work during your one-on-ones, what better place to start than your impediment backlog?
So congratulations. Just like a Scrum Master is responsible for causing the removal of impediments, congratulations. You're now a Scrum Master.
Right.
He will also be out of work soon. That's what I'm saying.
Thanks to an AI near you.
That ain't right. That ain't right. Yeah, this maps directly to everything that we've been doing. I would hope that none of this is a shock to anyone listening to this podcast. But if you do want a shock, the cynic would say, what? Now you got a complaint log? Now you got a list of complaints?
Oh boy, oh boy.
All you ever do is complain, Om. That's what
yeah, you get labeled,
got
don't
a
you?
whole list. That's exactly right. You will get labeled. Sounds like you're just complaining, Om.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, if you're in this situation, you recognize the symptoms when, just out of the blue, your boss says, hey, Fred here or Mary here is going to be on your team for a little while just to observe. They're not there just to observe, folks. They're there to basically replace you in the short term.
Yeah.
So beware.
The best part of that, like the impediments, like these are systemic blockers you can't do anything about. Like, why are they on your list? Why are they, you're really cynical. Like, you think these are complaints? Like, you don't want to improve our team? Like, who hurt you? That's what I want to say in this. But I want to say it in the Mike Miller accent. But I'm not going to.
No, go ahead. Do it.
Because it probably got edited out from earlier in the podcast
goodness.
when I went into the. But like the practitioner here is going to say the best asks are done in the moment.
Yeah.
You can't predict them and you can't write them down because they're done in the moment. Which I'm kind of like, it sounds good, but if I stop and just like think critically for a minute, and I'm like, but are they? Like, yeah, they're done in the moment, but can't you just like write them down in the moment and then they become part of the backlog and then they're not in the moment anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when we say the backlog, we don't necessarily mean you have to have it in your ALM tool.
You don't have, right.
It could just be some scratchings, right, on a notepad so that you don't forget, so that you don't freeze. You have some prompts to go off of.
That's right. We keep forgetting. Oh boy. It's listen, it's not a grievance log. Okay. You could put labels to this that you need to keep because there are things that slow you down and things that you're just dealing with. Like you're living in a house and the roof is leaking in a certain spot and this doesn't work and your dishwasher doesn't work or whatever. Do you want to write those down and get them resolved? Or you just want to live there and have your quality of life suffer? You probably should at least write them down.
Right.
So that one day if someone asks, what can I do for you? You can point and be like, I really hate that the roof leaks.
Yep. And you can prioritize the first thing to do first.
Right. So it's not a grievance log. Don't let someone tell you it's a complaint list. So keep a running list. Keep thinking. The one I do have to call out as maybe you do want to think about is you might want to curate the list a little bit before you publicize. Because yes, you don't want, when someone's like, what do you need help with? You probably shouldn't rattle off 10 things. You probably should pick one, maybe two at the absolute most if they're both crucial.
Just prioritize those based on impact and you should be well on your way.
Right. But also, like, depending on who you're talking to, you could pull off that list the one that fits the audience the best.
Right. Where are you likely to get some help, right?
Yeah.
From which source? Yeah.
That's one that I don't hear talked about anywhere, of pulling the right item to be unblocked off the list in front of the right audience at the right time.
I think to a certain extent that's a product of experience, really.
Yeah.
The longer you've been doing this, you kind of learn to do that. Target.
So there is a takeaway here, and it is to stop improvising your needs on the spot and to start pulling from the backlog, even if that backlog is written on the back of a napkin.
For sure. I personally am a fan of putting things down as bullets on a sticky note and put them on the side of my monitor so I don't forget.
That's right. Let us know in the comments. Do you keep a running asks list? And if you do, what are some things in it that you've gotten resolved because they're in the list? So let us know. Maybe someone in the comments can unblock you. Probably not, but maybe.
There's hope.
So we started this whole thing with one tiny expensive word. Nothing. That's right. So let's finish with something equally expensive. Here is the 5-line cheat sheet that you can copy from this podcast. Was one of the things that I think this is the first podcast that is going to go up with this new ending of the sticky note that you can just copy, that you can put on the side of your monitor for the next week or two, right? To try to ingrain a habit in your head. And this is one of them. There's Ohm next to it. There's me next to it. All right. Here's Ohm. There's me. This is all the takeaways from this podcast. Number 1, a sharp ask is a flex. It's not a confession. Number 2, never let nothing be your final answer. Number 3, a real need is an invitation. It's not manipulation. So get over yourself.
Right.
Number 4, lead with the unblock and bank on the intro. Well, the intro is the what can you do for your career kind of thing.
Yeah.
Number 5, keep a running ask list so you're never caught flat-footed. That's right. You're never caught flat-footed without your dex bonus. We started with one sentence, nothing, I'm good, and we ended with this little monitor sticky. Hopefully everyone can use that and kind of develop the skill and get better at asking for things and getting better at developing real human relationships. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So I just like the kind of yes and on that one and say,
Ooh.
next time your boss asks, what do you need? Don't answer fast. Answer smart. And you can do that from what you've learned today on this podcast, hopefully.
That's right.
Because the people who grow fastest, they're the ones who know exactly what they need.
I need about tree 50.
Always.
If you also need tree 50, like and subscribe.
And let us know down there in the comments below what else you'd like us to tackle. Don't say world hunger, because that's the next podcast after the next one.
I'm so hungry.